5 types of relatives to keep your distance from. As we grow older, we begin to appreciate the importance of peace, companionship, and the quality of the relationships that surround us. Family plays a central role in this, offering love, shared history, and cherished memories. However, not all familial relationships are equally positive or supportive. Some family members may unintentionally or even knowingly drain your energy or disrupt the peace you've worked so hard to establish. Recognizing these patterns and maintaining healthy boundaries can lead to a more peaceful and fulfilling life as you age. Here are 5 types of relatives you may want to keep a comfortable distance from, especially the 5th type, as you focus on living your best years filled with joy and calm. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. The constant complainer or pessimist. In every family, there may be that one person who can't seem to find a silver lining, no matter the situation. This constant complainer or pessimist views the world through a lens of dissatisfaction, often casting shadows over otherwise joyful occasions. They focus on what's wrong rather than what's right, and their comments tend to dwell on setbacks, grievances, and fears. This type of relative may bring up problems repeatedly, even after they've been resolved, and often fixates on the worst outcomes, making it difficult to stay hopeful in their presence. For seniors managing life changes, health concerns, or transitions, this constant stream of negativity can feel particularly burdensome. The later years are often viewed as a time to embrace a slower, more peaceful existence. Frequent exposure to negativity not only disrupts this peace but can also affect emotional well-being, adding unnecessary stress, anxiety, or sadness to days that should be enjoyed. Scientific studies reinforce that a positive mindset in older adults is associated with better health outcomes, greater mental resilience, and an overall higher quality of life. Chronic negativity, however, is like a slow drain on precious mental energy. It can subtly impact one's mood and outlook, dampening the ability to appreciate the present or find joy in simple everyday moments. It's also worth recognizing that while they may not intend harm, chronic complainers may be trapped in their own struggles, unable to see beyond their disappointments or fears. Nonetheless, the emotional toll their behavior places on others can be significant, and it's perfectly valid to protect your own peace by creating distance. How to create distance? Consider engaging with this relative in ways that don't allow complaints to take center stage. Politely redirect conversations to positive topics, or gently point out your desire to focus on uplifting things in your life. Simple statements like, "I'm focusing on gratitude these days," can set the tone without offending. If complaints continue, gracefully limit the time you spend with this relative. Remember, prioritizing your own emotional health isn't selfish. It's a step towards living these years with the positivity and peace you deserve. 2. The manipulator who picks at your flaws. Family should ideally be a source of love, respect, and acceptance, especially as we grow older and become more at peace with our true selves. However, some relatives exploit familiarity to subtly or openly criticize, manipulate, or highlight perceived shortcomings. They may claim to be helpful or honest, yet their words often have an edge that leaves you feeling diminished rather than supported. This kind of relative seeks validation or control by pinpointing your vulnerabilities and exploiting them in ways that can erode self-esteem and confidence, even when delivered under the guise of caring advice. For seniors, the later years are a time to appreciate life's journey, recognize the strength gained from years of experience, and fully embrace oneself. Being subjected to criticism or manipulation, however, can feel like an intrusion upon the hard-earned peace and self-acceptance you've cultivated. It's important to recognize that manipulation, no matter how subtle, isn't a reflection of your worth but rather of the insecurities or issues of those who wield it. How to create distance. Establishing boundaries with a critical or manipulative relative is a powerful act of self-respect and care. Politely deflect or minimize interactions around topics they use to criticize. Keep responses neutral, such as, "Thank you for your input," and then steer the conversation in a different direction. Should they persist, limit interactions or avoid one-on-one conversations where they feel empowered to pick apart your choices or experiences. Remember, this time of life is yours to live with contentment and self-acceptance, surrounded by people who uplift and respect you. 3. The one who only shows up when they need help. In every family, there may be a relative whose presence is defined by need. This individual seems to surface only during moments of personal crisis, creating a pattern that, over time, begins to feel transactional rather than rooted in genuine connection. They may reach out during a financial shortfall, an emotional crisis, or simply when they need a favor, but they rarely, if ever, show the same concern for your well-being. Their visits and calls are typically infrequent unless they require something, leaving you to wonder if there is genuine care behind their actions. As a senior who has spent a lifetime investing in others, it becomes increasingly important to prioritize connections that are reciprocal and sincere. The later years should be about embracing relationships that add value, joy, and mutual support. After decades of giving to family, friends, work, and community, there comes a point when we yearn for balance, where relationships flow both ways. Having a relative who only appears when they're in need can disrupt this sense of balance. It can make you feel as though your value to them is limited to what you can provide, financially, emotionally, or otherwise. This type of relative often assumes that your willingness to help is unlimited, failing to consider the emotional, physical, and sometimes financial toll their requests may have on you. How to create distance. Setting boundaries with a crisis-only relative is essential for maintaining your emotional and mental well-being. Begin by reflecting on what you are realistically able and willing to give. It's okay to establish limits that protect your peace and ensure your resources are allocated according to your needs and desires. When this relative reaches out with yet another request, consider responding with kindness but firmness, letting them know that while you care about them, you also have your own boundaries. Phrases like, "I'm not in a position to help with that right now," or "I've chosen to prioritize other commitments," can communicate your decision without inviting debate. It may also help to gently guide this relative toward independence or other resources rather than offering your direct assistance each time. Encourage them to explore other ways to manage their needs. This approach reinforces your boundaries and may prompt them to reflect on the nature of your relationship, seeking more sustainable solutions. Creating distance in these situations is not about withdrawing love or kindness. Rather, it's about preserving your well-being and ensuring your later years are filled with meaningful connections. By stepping back from relationships that drain you, you open yourself to connections that bring joy and balance into your life. Remember, setting limits with a relative who only appears when they need help is not selfish, it's an act of self-respect. 4. The envious or jealous relative. Jealousy is a powerful and complex emotion, especially when it arises within families where love and support should ideally be foundational. Envy from a relative, whether subtle or overt, can feel like an emotional betrayal. This relative may react to your happiness, achievements, or even just your sense of peace with quiet but unmistakable resentment. They may offer backhanded compliments, make passive-aggressive remarks, or downplay your accomplishments, all of which can disrupt the harmony you strive for in your later years. For seniors, this behavior can be particularly disheartening. After years of navigating life's ups and downs, retirement and later life often bring a sense of appreciation and gratitude for the journey. You may have worked hard to build stability, cherished relationships, and a comfortable home. At this time in your life, you may wish to savor simplicity and the little pleasures that make life worthwhile. To have a family member respond to this peace with jealousy can feel isolating, as if they are unwilling or unable to share in the happiness you've cultivated. Envy from a relative can cast a shadow over these years, turning moments that should be joyful into occasions tinged with tension. This type of relative may avoid congratulating you on personal milestones, or even make hurtful remarks disguised as honest feedback. They might subtly hint that your achievements were due to luck or downplay your financial stability as a consequence of circumstances, not effort. Such behavior can be exhausting. Over time, it may cause you to hesitate in sharing good news or even feel guilty about the blessings in your life. How to create distance. Maintaining a healthy distance from an envious relative is an act of self-care. Consider how much you share about your personal successes or sources of happiness. You don't have to completely withhold your joy, but you might choose to keep certain aspects of your life private, especially if sharing seems to provoke resentment. Limit one-on-one interactions if these are the moments when envy tends to surface, opting instead for group settings where conversations remain light and neutral. In situations where the relative's envy turns into direct criticism or snide remarks, calmly set boundaries. You might respond with phrases like, "I'm proud of what I've worked for," or "I value the simple things in life," to reaffirm your joy without engaging in their negativity. If they continue to make envious or hurtful comments, remember that stepping back from these interactions is a way to protect the peace you've built. Reducing time spent with this relative allows you to focus on relationships that bring you genuine support and happiness. 5. The one secretly in love with your spouse. Family dynamics can sometimes be intricate and emotionally charged, but few situations are as potentially unsettling as a relative harboring hidden romantic feelings for your spouse. This delicate and often unacknowledged issue can quietly disrupt the stability, trust, and comfort of your closest relationship. Such attraction can manifest subtly, perhaps through unusual attentiveness, affectionate gestures, or positioning themselves as an ally or confidant for your spouse. Other times, it may be a lingering look, a tone that goes beyond familial warmth, or an attempt to insert themselves into moments that should be private. Even the smallest signs of this behavior can introduce unspoken tension that challenges the peace you've cultivated in your life and marriage. As we age, the companionship of a spouse or long-term partner becomes a profound source of comfort. Decades of shared experiences, challenges overcome, and joyful memories create a bond that is both meaningful and essential for seniors who value stability and simplicity in their relationships. A third party complicating this bond, especially one as close as a family member, can feel like a betrayal. This type of situation often provokes a mix of feelings, including confusion, discomfort, and sometimes insecurity. It can feel like an intrusion into the safe and loving space you've built. The later years should be about nurturing connections that celebrate life's journey together, not worrying over hidden agendas or divided loyalties. Addressing this issue can be emotionally complex and create an awkward and painful dilemma. You may feel compelled to confront the situation directly, yet the closeness of family ties can make addressing it challenging. Fear of disrupting family harmony or being perceived as overreacting may prevent you from raising your concerns. How to create distance. Navigating this situation requires both tact and a protective stance over your relationship. Begin by minimizing opportunities for one-on-one interactions between this relative and your spouse during family gatherings. Gently steer them away from situations where the relative might feel emboldened to overstep boundaries. You can create subtle physical and emotional distance by keeping conversations polite but limited, focusing on group settings rather than private moments. If the situation warrants it, have an honest and open conversation with your spouse about your concerns. Approaching this topic with clarity and calm can strengthen your bond, allowing you both to recognize and address discomfort without creating a wedge between you. In some cases, it may be necessary to have a private discussion with the relative in question, respectfully but directly setting boundaries if their behavior has become overt. Protecting your peace and the sanctity of your marriage is a valid priority and a testament to the years of love, loyalty, and partnership you've shared. By addressing the situation with courage and care, you can ensure that your later years remain defined by the joy, comfort, and respect that you and your spouse have cultivated, free from the disruptions of unspoken rivalries or misguided affections. Final thoughts. Navigating family dynamics as you grow older requires discernment, patience, and sometimes the strength to set firm boundaries. While distancing oneself from certain relatives might seem challenging, it is ultimately an act of self-respect and self-care. Your time, energy, and peace are valuable, especially in later years. Surrounding yourself with uplifting, supportive individuals can make all the difference. Remember that setting boundaries doesn't mean cutting off family completely or holding grudges. Instead, it's a healthy way to ensure that your relationships serve to uplift rather than drain you. As you step into this stage of life, focus on those who bring you joy. Appreciate who you are and respect the legacy of wisdom and experience you've built over the years. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.